Beating off is the best way to play Minecraft, and there are two different ways to go about it. The first is beating optional fun features, both with the combat and the creative. And the second way to beat off, well, we'll get to that in a bit. But to understand why you should beat off and how you even do it, we need to first reflect on beating Minecraft itself. Vanilla Minecraft has a special place in an entire generation's heart. You create the world, and the second the loading screen ends, you become one with it. You spawn in and immediately go run to mine trees and craft tools. The only thing slowing you down is your hand-eye coordination. You head underground, where you're exposed to rare minerals, beautiful structures, and many different foes. They give you your first near-death experience, which also makes you realize that you need better gear. Iron, gold, diamond, you feel unstoppable, but the progress doesn't end there. And as you place the final eye into the portal, you see it, the result of everything you've worked for. The final goal is within reach, but you can't help but feel like you're forgetting something. It's not an item, not a lesson, it's a moment. This moment. But you don't have time for that. You spawn in and go straight for the crystals, which you knock out pretty quick. You draw your bow, you slay the dragon, and you officially become the hero of fairy tales. And when you do, you're rewarded with a shower of glowing orbs, the egg of the fallen, and a portal home. And as you leapt for your escape, the universe spoke. And the universe said, "I love you." As you return to your physical form, you realize what you forgot. You spent so much time thinking about the end goal, you didn't stop on the way to reflect on how you got there. You beat the game, but it just feels empty. Is that really all it was for? An empty victory? No. There's only one thing that can fill that emptiness. Beating Minecraft is so much more than slaying the Ender Dragon. It's going off course, off of the typical path of progression, beating off. Again, there's another version of beating off in Minecraft that even the most skilled players refuse to do, but that'll be revealed at the end. For now, let's take a look at the two types of optional fun features I mentioned earlier, starting with combat. The Wither is a man-made horror with enough power to eviscerate you on the spot. It's often referred to as the World Ender because who am I kidding? I play on Java. The Wither for me is a little scarier than a baby zombie. But that whole World Ender thing is very real, on the other side of the aisle. See, for folks stuck playing Bedrock Edition, the Wither has double health, deals more damage, and spawns back up when it gets to half health. Honestly, it may not even be worth doing on Bedrock because the reward isn't even that powerful. Again, optional fun features. Now, if you don't know, the Wither is spawned in a similar fashion to snow golems, where it can only be spawned if you place the necessary blocks in the right formation, which in this case is 4 soul sand and 3 Wither skeleton heads. The soul sand is no biggie, but the heads on average require 120 Wither skeleton kills, and those guys are scary enough on their own. And then once it spawns, it actually creates a fair bit of chaos. Now, if you're lame and for whatever reason don't want to risk all your builds being destroyed, you can mitigate this by spawning it way underground, but where's the fun in that? And whether you take the easy way or the right way, killing it is still a mess. But when you finally do, it drops a nether star, which is used for 2 primary things. 1, crafting a beacon, which gives a small stat buff whenever in range, and 2, backing securities for a solid currency in vanilla Minecraft. If you know, you know. Trial chambers are home to exclusive mobs and exclusive loot. Now, if you've ever seen a video of someone killing a wither with one of these maces, then you've seen how valuable the trial chambers can be. Firstly, it introduced mobs known as breezes, which are like Blaze's less hot-headed cousins. They shoot wind charges and jump super high. When watching them, they're kind of adorable. Look at that little spring. But when fighting them, they're really annoying. They can spawn from these special spawners known as trial spawners, which spawn 6 mobs if you're solo, a couple more if you're not, and then drop loot, which has a 50% chance to be a trial key, which can then be used on vaults to get some nice loot. There are spawners scattered throughout the trial chambers that you can farm keys from, and that's pretty much how it works. But that's just the test run. You can't even get the required materials to craft a mace from that vault. No, you gotta up the ante. This is the biggest off in the game, because not only is the entire structure optional, the difficulty can be upped by a consumable item. Because vaults can drop ominous bottles, which when consumed, gives the Trial Omen potion effect. You can also get this potion effect by just having bad omen and entering a trial chamber. But this potion effect changes everything. It changes the trial chambers to the ominous trial chambers, which instead of having trial spawners, has ominous trial spawners. Just like the trial spawners, after you kill all the mobs, you get loot, but these spawners spawn either stronger mobs or more mobs, and then the loot has a 1 in 3 chance to be an ominous trial key, which when used on an ominous vault, has a 25% chance to drop nothing, a high chance for miscellaneous loot, and a 7.5% chance to drop a heavy core, which when crafted with a breeze rod, gives you the mace. So if you want this insanely strong, extremely situational weapon, then you better get searching for a trial chamber. The Warden, the scariest thing in Minecraft. I'm going to assume you've heard of the Warden, but I'm also going to assume you don't know much about it because these guys are kind of irrelevant. I mean, there's a bit of debate on what the Warden even is. Some people think that the glowing things in its chest cavity are souls and it's fueled by those souls, but some people, me included, think that it's a mutated ancient relative of axolotls. You see the resemblance? It's uncanny. Anyways, the Warden spawns in the ancient city, which is actually a pretty neat area. It looks like if the stronghold had a badass older cousin who thrifted his clothes and smoked cigarettes. And it looks even cooler with shaders on. This area can also grant you unique loot, like swift sneak books, enchanted gear, and echo shards, which can be used to craft the recovery compass. That's an item that leads you to where you last died, which is very cool, until you die with it in your inventory. But none of those are actually dropped from the Warden. In fact, the Warden drops no loot. The only reason to take one on is for the love of the game. Because if you end up in an ancient city, your entire goal is to not summon the Warden, and have a thorough escape route in case you do. But this isn't actually that difficult, because unlike most mobs,
I don't see like you do. I release a sonic wave from my mouth. There, I got a pretty good look at you.
no, it doesn't actually shoot a sonic boom from its mouth. It comes from its chest cavity. The Warden is actually blind though. It's just instead of echolocation, it uses its hearing, its sense of smell, and most of all, vibrations to track you. So if you take a step, use an item, break a block, even punch a block, it knows exactly where you are. And if you try to just stand still to avoid that, it can smell you. Now again, this is if you manage to accidentally summon the Warden, which only happens if you touch the top of a Skulk Shrieker in any way, or vibrate near a Skulk Sensor that's near a Skulk Shrieker. But those can both be avoided pretty easily using a block that you probably have a good bit of. See, wool actually blocks all vibrations, so you can just place down a nice little path and walk around all you want. Just hope a random mob doesn't hit you, because that will undoubtedly activate the sensors. Now I will say, killing Warden is not the optional fun feature. It is optional, and it's technically a feature, but it's definitely not fun. I think that what makes the Warden so fun is A, the exhilaration of trying not to spawn one, or 2, accidentally spawning one and figuring out how to stay alive long enough for it to despawn. I won't get into all the nitty-gritty strategic stuff. For that, there's a resource linked in the description, but hear me when I say, the panic pays off. Alright, although building in Minecraft may seem like an obvious part of the gameplay, it's honestly one of the most optional things. I mean, let's face the facts. If you want to play as efficiently as possible, a little hole in the ground is all you need to place your chests, bed, furnace, and crafting table. But building has evolved so much over the years. People have gone from using only cobblestone and oak planks in builds to using true gradients with sophisticated color palettes. But this has actually caused a great divide in the building community, where some people opt for the golden age of Minecraft, using only these more simplistic blocks that have been in the game for ages. And other people have embraced what modern Minecraft has brought, using all the different blocks to their fullest extent. Now, while I am a big fan of all the different possibilities this ever-increasing library of blocks has introduced, I also can truly appreciate the creativity that a more limited block selection enables. Because Golden Age fans aren't just seeking nostalgia. They enjoy the constraints and simplicity of not being able to perfectly shade things or perfectly match real-world reference, or honestly, they just enjoy the simplicity of not having the modern features. They often play in alpha versions of Minecraft with the simplicity of the gameplay juxtaposing perfectly these incredible builds they pull off with such a limited block selection. However, in my eyes, modern Minecraft has a way higher skill ceiling. Having hundreds of colors with thousands of blocks means both endless possibilities and constant improvement. The more you use a block, the quicker you'll be to use that block again, like a word added to your vocabulary. And so the more you force yourself to use new blocks, the more advanced your next build will be. But whether you're the purist who sticks to the classics, or the artist who constantly wants new brushes, well, you get to do what works for you. This is, after all, beating optional, fun features. And in building, the options are limitless, the fun is never ending, and the features are constantly expanding. So go build yourself a nice house, go build a 1-to-1 scale replica of New York City, or don't. Whether you want Minecraft to be a CAD software or an adventure game is completely up to you. But there's one thing that all builders agree on. These slabs aren't enough. They can take up the bottom half or the top half of a block, but we need vertical slabs. Not behind a paywall like in Bedrock and not behind mods like in Java. No, we need to see vanilla vertical slabs. Now this is probably one of the coolest parts of Minecraft. I mean, redstone can teach fundamental principles of electronics without being overwhelming or even really feeling like learning at all. It's such an expansive world, and so to try to do it a little bit of justice, I'm going to cover the basics of redstone, the possibilities, and what the redstoner community wants going forward. Redstone has 4 key pillars: power sources, transmission, logic components, and actuators. Power source emits a signal, transmitter carries a signal, logic components can subtract, cut off, or compare a signal, and actuators perform an action when they receive a signal. These may not seem revolutionary, and at this scale, they're really not, but these can be combined to create truly complex circuitry that either helps with gameplay or is the gameplay. With redstone, the possibilities are pretty endless, but even so, I'd say that pretty much all usages of it can be put into one of 3 categories. The redstone rubric, let's call it. The first of these categories is for fun. Piston doors, realistic house lighting, silly little contraptions, just things that make the world more you. This is many people's introduction to redstone. You get a cool idea, want to figure out how to do it, and then 17 videos later, you feel like you've unlocked the secrets of the universe. But besides being a gateway into more complex mechanics, these are pretty much just for fun. They don't really impact your gameplay. Unlike the next category, being practical. Practical uses of redstone are often just to automate grinds or mundane tasks. This could be automatic farms, world eaters, or even auto-sorting your storage. Stuff like this takes a while to set up, but can save you so much time in the long run. Oh, and if you haven't heard of a world eater before, this is what that does. Pretty cool. And the last category is computational, as in people using redstone to build computers. These have served as calculators or even run games like Tetris, Pong, and oh right, Minecraft. Now it was a simplified version, but someone was able to play Minecraft inside of Minecraft, which I'd say is pretty cool. Alright, finally, here's what the redstone community wants to see added to the game. 1. Vertical redstone, as in redstone on walls. Come on, Mojang, this one's obvious. Alright, 2. Bluestone. It doesn't actually have to be blue, just another type of wiring that doesn't interfere with redstone, so you can run parallel wires. Finally, 3. Java players want a bedrock feature, surprisingly enough. They want movable entity blocks. Blocks like chest, furnaces, and hoppers can't be pushed by pistons in Java, and players just want to see that brought over. Also, this paper just says subscribe. You should do that. Alright, so you now know how to beat Minecraft through optional fun features, but that's only partially how you beat off. The true way to beat Minecraft is to beat the addiction, beat the constant dopamine seeking, beat the urges. Unlike most advanced players, you need to beat the game by logging off. Please, just go outside. Now, if you learn anything new in this video and want to learn about what exactly Hightail is and if it's really a competitor to Minecraft, then check out this video right here. And if you want to learn about a Minecraft minigame with an economy larger than actual countries, then check out this video right here. Subscribe for more, and without further ado, I will see you guys next time. Deuces.